Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, an officer killed in the line of duty remembered today. Plus, residents in a South Fargo neighborhood talking after they've been told that they can't use a retention pond. And the latest on yesterday's lockdown at a Williston school. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
His legacy will live in our hearts and our minds. Rest in peace, Cody. We've got it from here.
A Grand Forks officer killed in the line of duty being remembered today on the one-year anniversary of an eviction notice turned deadly shootout. 29-year-old Cody Holte was a 10-year veteran in the National Guard and served with the Grand Forks Police Department for just over 3 years. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley was there this morning as a community and police department honored a man they say is the epitome of a hero.
This day was one of unfathomable tragedy. On that fateful day, we witnessed the best and worst of what mankind has to offer.
It's been a heavy year for those close to Cody Holte and the Grand Forks Police Department. Cody leaves behind a wife and a now almost 2-year-old son, Gunnar, as well as a twin brother, Brady, who serves as an officer for the Fargo Police Department.
We learned what strength is by watching Cody's family. They are truly my heroes, and I'm honored to call them my friends.
Cody responded as backup after an eviction notice served by the Grand Forks County Sheriff's Office went south. Court documents say he was killed by one of the over 40 rounds shot from 42-year-old Salama Pendleton's AK-47.
Shots fired, officer down. Those are words you never want to hear.
Lieutenant Zimmel says before badge number 639 was worn with pride by Officer Holte, it was his.
And I would submit that he did far more honor to that number than any person ever has.
Badge 639 has since been retired in honor of Cody's sacrifice, something that's only been done one other time in the department's history. Grand Forks police say now is the time to move forward, honoring Cody's legacy while also trying to emulate the man he was, someone whose life's purpose was service before self.
When people asked him why he was in the National Guard and law enforcement, and his reply was oftentimes, I serve so others don't have to. And maybe that's a lesson that we all have to do our part. We all have to work together to make a better world for all of us.
In Grand Forks, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Meanwhile, Pendleton is also accused of the attempted murders of Grand Forks officer Patrick Turuk and Grand Forks Sheriff Deputy Ron Nord, as well as the murder of his own mother, 61-year-old Lola Moore, who was caught in the crossfire. He's expected to go to trial later this summer. With cold temps expected, our chief meteorologist has called for a FOD. He's here to explain why and talk about the plant-threatening weather to come. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. FOD stands for First Alert Weather Day. By the way, at home, if you're watching tonight and into your Friday morning, we do have a chance for widespread frost, and a few of us will get down to freezing temperatures. And in fact, you've seen it crawling across the bottom of your screen, a freeze warning for our entire viewing area. Right now, temperatures aren't too terrible. We are cooler than average for sure. 40s where it's been raining for the better part of the day, near 60 up north, and those showers are wrapping up a little bit. Notice this, morning flakes out to the west. We heard about that in the Cullum area today. All day rain in northeast South Dakota and along that border also taking place. We need the clear skies to get down to those cold temperatures, and the clearing is beginning in the far north as we see some rays of sun in the Devil's Lake area. In Fargo, we hold on to near 50 degrees until 10 o'clock, and then we quickly see temperatures fall, particularly once the sky starts to clear, but that's going to be after midnight for us. I'll have hour-by-hour details on who has the best chance of some freezing conditions, and we'll keep you up to date with what's going on for that holiday weekend ahead here in a few minutes.
Normally, we expect and hope for clear skies.
Right, exactly.
All right, thanks. The city of Fargo sent letters to residents of the Deer Creek neighborhood this week asking them to remove their docks, paddle boats, and other personal items from a storm retention pond shoreline. Residents told us they're confused and frustrated that their children will no longer be allowed to play on the pond. City of Fargo engineers say the pond is not a place for recreational activity and is meant to collect rainfall, including pollutants like gas, oil, and waste. A father of a boy who frequently fishes on the pond says the pond provides a source of happiness for his son.
This pond is like kind of a gemstone for the kids in the winter, especially too. You know, this is, I don't know, I just don't think this is very well thought out and fair, really, for that matter.
In the letter, city engineers asked the residents to have all dock segments, paddle boats, and other recreational items removed from the shoreline by June 15th. Police say a 15-year-old Williston Middle School student is in custody and faces charges for bringing a firearm to school yesterday. Officers responded to the call yesterday afternoon and confirmed that they found a gun in the student's backpack, putting the school and nearby elementary in a lockdown for almost 2 hours. No one was hurt. There's no ongoing threat to the students, staff, or the public. One person was taken to the hospital after a crash in Grand Forks today. It happened this afternoon in the parking lot of 1630 24th Avenue South. Investigators say Caitlin Sondrall was turning when her Chevy hit a motorbike driven by Eugene Hendrickson. He was taken to the hospital. Police didn't say how bad his injuries were. One man is seriously hurt after being hit by a train in the Northern Valley. Police there in Grand Forks say around 2 a.m. they got a call about a man bleeding near a downtown bar. When they arrived, they identified him as Tony Dauphiné. He was rushed to the hospital with what police said were serious injuries to his left arm. Anyone with information on this case is urged to contact Grand Forks Police. And the area's SWAT team executed a high-risk search warrant in South Fargo this morning. It happened just after 7 in the 1600 block of 33rd Avenue South. We're told the unit was working with the narcotics investigators. 2 loud-sounding devices were used. SWAT was eventually called off the scene. The narcotics unit stayed to investigate. However, no one was arrested. A Woodbury, Minnesota woman is charged with attempted murder and assault after prosecutors say she beat 2 of her children. Both of them hospitalized and one of them listed in critical condition. Court documents say the 31-year-old woman told investigators that she has a history of mental illness that has led to her being hospitalized. Multiple people called 911 after midnight on Wednesday about a woman chasing a boy down the street and a child screaming. The 5 or 6-year-old girl was laying in the street with a puddle of blood under her head with what appeared to be a piece of wood lying by her. Another girl, either 1 or 2 years old, was found in the home. She was not hurt. The city of Fargo is in the process of hiring its first ever Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. A total of 62 people applied for this job, and the selection committee recently completed the final component of its selection process. The Fargo City Commission will be asked to approve a contract with Dr. Terry Hogan at the next City Commission meeting. If the City Commission approves, an employment offer will be extended to Hogan with a scheduled start date of July 6th. We'll have much more on this, on Hogan, on our website. Just go to valleynewslive.com. Minnesota is trying out a plan to make intersections safer for pedestrians. The Transportation Department has partnered with the city of Moorhead to set up a pedestrian refuge island. Now, it's just a test, but it could become a permanent feature if it helps pedestrians cross safely. The community is encouraged to try it out while it's here for the next few weeks. The government moves military members all over the country and the world, and many families are forced to move a lot. When they do, our national investigative team found that there have been problems with thousands of moves each year.
Really, it's beyond inefficiency. It is a level of failure that is simply not acceptable.
Destroyed and missing belongings, why lawmakers are mad, and how much Investigate TV found damaged in military moves. You can watch that story tonight. We'll have it for you on Valley News Live at 10. But later on Valley News Live at 6, some guideline changes are coming for visitors and their loved ones at Essentia.
And it was a chilly start to the day along the international border. Roseau, 30 degrees, 31 in Padette. Down to the south in Fargo, we stayed in those 40s. More widespread frost and freezing conditions as we go into your Friday morning. First alert weather day has been declared into your Friday morning. I'll have the latest in your hour-by-hour forecast